Friends from the press, good afternoon. Welcome to the regular press conference of the Foreign Ministry. First, I will release two pieces of news. As the invitation of founder and chairman of the Board of Trustees of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and the governments of Switzerland and the Netherlands, member of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee, and the Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang will attend the World Economic Forum Annual Meeting 2025 in Davos, Switzerland, and visit Switzerland and the Netherlands from January 19th to 24th. At the invitation of member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and the Minister of Foreign Affairs Wang Yi, advisor for Foreign Affairs and of the interim government of Bangladesh Tufid, will visit China from January 20th to 24th. Now, I'd like to take your questions. CCTV.
林学祥副总理出席世界经济论坛。
You just announced that Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang will attend the World Economic Forum annual meeting. Can you share with us more details on his program and China's expectation for the meeting? World Economic Forum, known as a World Economic Bellwether, is one of the most influential non-official economic forums in the world. President Xi Jinping attended the forum for 3 times and delivered important speeches. He sent a strong message of supporting economic globalization, safeguarding and practicing multilateralism, and jointly creating a better world. Under the theme of Collaboration for the Intelligent Age, the meeting invites relevant parties to discuss how to enhance cooperation and jointly seize the opportunities for development in the intelligent age. Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang will deliver a special address at the opening plenary. By attending the annual meeting, China looks forward to strengthening exchanges and communication with other parties, enhancing understanding and trust, pulling consensus for cooperation, upholding true multilateralism, jointly advocating an equal and orderly multipolar world and a mutually beneficial and inclusive economic globalization, and contribute to global economic governance and world economic growth. Next one, please.
发言人好，新华社记者提问。
Xinhua News Agency. It's reported that many outcomes have been reached during Sri Lanka's President Annual Kumara Dissanayaka's visit to China, and the two sides issued a joint statement. Can you further brief us on that, and how does China view the significance of the visit to China-Sri Lanka relations? From January 14th to 17th, at the invitation of President Xi Jinping, Sri Lanka President Dissanayake paid a state visit to China. It was President Dissanayaka's first state visit to China after taking office, and is of great importance to the development of China-Sri Lanka relations. On January 15th, President Xi Jinping held talks with President Dissanayake. The two sides reached important common understandings on deepening China-Sri Lanka strategic cooperative partnership and jointly building a China-Sri Lanka community with a shared future, making new strategic guidance for the development of China-Sri Lanka relations. The two heads of state jointly witnessed the signing of the Belt and Road Cooperation Plan and the multiple documents on bilateral cooperation, including the export of agricultural products to China, people's livelihood, and the news and broadcasting, and among others. During the visit, Premier Li Xiang and Chairman Zhao Lezi of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress met with President Dissanayake respectively. The two sides issued a joint statement that gives a full overview of what has been achieved through President Disanayake's visit. China attaches high importance to its ties with Sri Lanka in its neighborhood diplomacy. China and Sri Lanka today have a historic opportunity to build on what has been achieved and take the relationship into the next chapter. China stands ready to work with Sri Lanka to follow up on the important common understandings reached between the two leaders, deepen our strategic cooperative partnership featuring sincere mutual assistance and everlasting friendship, work for high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, jointly build a China-Sri Lanka community with a shared future, and bring more benefit to our two countries and two peoples. Next one, please. China News Agency.
China News Service to follow up on advisor for foreign affairs of the interim government of Bangladesh, Tawhid Hussein's official visit to China. What's your comment on the current relations with Bangladesh and the expectation of the visit? China and Bangladesh are traditional friendly neighbors. Since the establishment of diplomatic ties, both sides have treated each other with respect and as equals, and supported each other on issues concerning respective core interests. We have set a good example of friendly interaction and mutually beneficial cooperation among countries. China, as always, attaches great importance to growing its relations with Bangladesh. The year 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of our diplomatic ties and the China-Bangladesh people-to-people exchange year. China stands ready to work with Bangladesh to strengthen interactions, enhance political mutual trust, deepen high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, and advance the China-Bangladesh Comprehensive Strategic Cooperative Partnership. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP.
法新社中国媒体报道，昨日表示，香港公司 Lanka 的 CEO 被公安部门带走，中方能否证实并且给予更多细节？
我不了解你提。
I'm not familiar with the specifics you mentioned. I'd refer you to the competent authorities. Next one, please.
Could you share with us the arrangement for Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang's visits to Switzerland and the Netherlands, and what's China's comment on its current relations with Switzerland and the Netherlands and expectation of the visits? This year marks the 75th anniversary of China-Switzerland diplomatic ties. President Xi Jinping's state visit to Switzerland in 2017, a full success, has brought bilateral relations to a new historic height. During the visit to Switzerland, Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang will respectively have a meeting and talks with President of the Swiss Confederation and Head of the Federal Government of Finance, Keller Sutter, and the Vice President and Head of the Federal Department of Economic Affairs, Education and Research, Pamela. They had an exchange of views on bilateral relations, mutually beneficial cooperation and interaction, and international and regional issues. China looks forward to further implementing the important common understandings between the two leaders, working with Switzerland to start the celebration of the 75th anniversary, better enhancing political mutual trust, strengthening bilateral and multilateral cooperation. China and the Netherlands are major economies and trading powerhouses. The Netherlands has long been a gateway to China-EU cooperation. In recent years, our open and practical comprehensive cooperative partnership has made progress, and cooperation have produced fruitful results, which have benefited the two peoples. China looks forward to having in-depth exchange of views with the Netherlands and on issues of mutual interest, enhancing mutual understanding and trust, unlocking potential, expanding people-to-people exchanges, and achieving new progress in our relations. Next one, please.
Thank you, AFP.
法新社美国媒体昨日报道，中国在造船行业采取不公平的措施，并且呼吁紧急采取措施。中方对于这一关于造船业方面的指责有何评论？
你提到的问题，
Spokesperson of China's Ministry of Commerce has responded to that. Let me stress that Biden administration has issued a 301 investigation is severely against the WTO rules and is typical and purely protectionism. China deplores and rejects that. We have multiple times showed our position. Multiple reports of the U.S. showed that the U.S. shipping industry has lost its competitive advantages for over-protectionism. Relevant Chinese industries and their development are the result of their tech innovation and active participation into market competition, and is the result of its full-fledged industry system and the great domestic market. The Biden administration blames its own problems onto China. It lacks factual basis and is against the basic economics. We urge the U.S. to respect facts and multilateral rules, immediately stop wrongdoing, and return to the multilateral trading systems based on rules. China will closely follow the developments of the investigation and take all necessary measures to firmly guarantee its interests. Next one, please. Beijing, Delhi. According to reports, on January 15th, Kosovo police raided Serb-populated areas in the north of Kosovo, closed Serbian-run institutions, and expelled employees. Serbian President Vučić condemned what the Kosovo authorities did. The US, the EU, and France also expressed concerns over that, urging Kosovo to fulfill its obligation of establishing a community of Serb municipalities. Do you have any comment? On the Kosovo issue, China respects Serbia's sovereignty and territorial integrity and believes that the security and lawful rights and interests of the Serbs in Kosovo should be safeguarded. Unilateral actions are not conducive to solving the issue and will impact security and stability in the region. We hope relevant parties will continue to engage in practical and constructive dialogue within the framework of relevant UN Security Council resolutions and actively seek a lasting solution to the Kosovo issue. Next one, please.
Reuters. A question about Chinese nationals trapped in Myanmar. The relatives of these people sent a message online about a sharing document about their information. What's your comment on the information released by these relatives? And what's your view on the cross-border telecom fraud as well as human trafficking, arrest, and abusing?
On January 16th, member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee for Minister Wang Yi, when meeting with emissaries from 10 ASEAN countries, said that recently a series of online gambling and telecom fraud malicious cases have happened to the border of Thailand and Myanmar. It threatens the immediate interests of all nationals, including those from China, and we need to attach great importance to that. We hope relevant countries can assume responsibility, take strong measures, and resolutely crack down on online gambling and telecom fraud, safeguard safety of people's life and assets, and bring criminals into justice. Let me stress that the Chinese government firmly cracks down on telecom fraud, cross-border illegal and criminal activities, and firmly protect the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese nationals. We also require our nationals overseas to strictly abide by local rules and regulations and not to engage in criminal activities. Recently, China and relevant countries have close cooperation, foiled a large number of cross-border criminal groups. China will continue to deepen international cooperation on law enforcement, step up cracking down on telecom fraud and online gambling, human trafficking, among other cross-border illegal and criminal activities. We will continue, together with competent authorities, guide overseas missions to properly settle these issues and provide necessary assistance to victims and their family within our capacity. We also hope our citizens can have precautions, protect themselves, pull consensus, and unroot this cancer of telecom fraud. Next one, please.
法新社。一个欧洲的私人团队对于6家中国公司提起了诉讼，其中包括天猫、腾讯和 TikTok。他们说这几家公司违反了欧盟的隐私法，中方对此有何评论？Please repeat your question. 一个私人的欧洲团队昨天对于6家中国公司提起了诉讼，表示这几家公司违反了欧盟的数据隐私法律，其中包括天猫、微信还有 TikTok。中方对此有何回应？有何评论？
The Chinese government attaches great importance and protects data privacy and security in accordance with law. We have never and will never ask companies or individuals to collect or provide data in other countries for Chinese government in violation of local laws. Relevant parties should respect market economies and the fair competition principle and provide a fair, transparent and non-discriminatory business environment for Chinese companies. Next one, please. Shenzhen News Agency, we noted that the National Computer Network Emergency Response Technical Team or Coordination Center of China, CNCERT/CC, released a report today which included detailed information of the cyber attacks by U.S. intelligence agency on an advanced material design research unit and a big high-tech company specializing in smart energy and digital information in China, and claimed that the report served as a reference for countries and agencies around the world to effectively identify and guard against cyber attacks by the U.S. What's your comment? We noted the report. This report by CNCRT and CC brought to light again the attempts by the U.S. government to conduct cyber attacks and theft of trade secrets and intellectual property on China. We expressed serious concerns about such attempts and urged the U.S. to immediately stop the malicious activities. China will take necessary measures to safeguard its own cybersecurity and interests. Cyberspace bears on national security and economic prosperity of all countries. The U.S. should reflect on what it's doing and stop its political smears. The U.S. should live up to its standards first before asking other countries to do the same, responsibly observe the same international rules respected by other countries, and work with the international community to maintain peace and security in cyberspace. Next one, please. Any other questions? Then that will conclude today's press conference. Thank you for coming.